Found on a curb with other vintage antique items, this is an etched silver-like cup, about 2.25 inches tall and wide. The etching of a rabbit bunny seems hand-done, and there are no maker's marks. What is this small, decorative cup? This small, ornate cup is likely a traditional baby's first cup. Giving a silver or silver-plated cup as a gift to a newborn or for a christening is a long-standing tradition in many Western cultures. These cups serve as a cherished keepsake or heirloom. The commenter shares a picture of their mother's first cup from 1913, given by Grandmother Tower, highlighting the sentimental value of such items. The bunny etching would be a fitting and charming decoration for a child's cup. Found while packing, this small plastic stand rotates and has a ramp-type thing that elevates when it rotates. There's a small nail or screw stored on the back. The owners have moved with it 3 times, determined to figure out its purpose. What is it for? Thank you, everyone. After trying to attach it to the PS5 incorrectly before, the owners have solved their long-standing mystery. This rotating plastic stand is the official stand that comes with the Sony PlayStation 5 console. It is required to position the console safely, especially in the horizontal orientation. The ramp thing and rotation are part of how it attaches and supports the console's curved body. The screw stored in the base is used to securely attach the stand to the console when it is placed in the vertical orientation. Found in an entertainment center, this white plastic object has a unique shape, no threading, and is not heavy. What could this be a part of? This white plastic piece is possibly a cap to a humidifier. Many humidifiers have a removable water tank that needs to be filled. The cap that seals the filling hole on this tank often has a unique, non-threaded design with a spring-loaded valve or a specific locking mechanism. It could have been stored in the entertainment center during a season when the humidifier was not in use and then become separated from the main unit. Its unique shape is likely specific to the make and model of the humidifier it belongs to. This metal tool, 160 mm by 70 mm, was found in a yard sale toolbox. What is this unusually shaped, specialized tool for? This is a violin sound post setter. The sound post is a small, unglued dowel of wood that is wedged inside a violin, or viola or cello, between the top and back plates located just behind the bridge. Its precise position is critical for the instrument's tone and structural integrity. This specialized tool, with its unique curves and sharp or serrated end, is used by a luthier, a stringed instrument maker or repairer, to insert, move, and precisely position the sound post through the F-holes of the violin. It's an essential tool for stringed instrument setup and adjustment. This metal cap, approximately 5 inches in diameter and weighing 10 lbs or so, is not threaded. It was found on the street in front of the finder's house. What is this heavy, non-threaded cap? This heavy cap is a propeller nut anode made of zinc. In the marine world, sacrificial anodes are used to protect critical metal parts of a boat from galvanic corrosion. The anode, made of a less noble metal like zinc, is attached to the part to be protected, like a steel propeller or bronze propeller nut. In the presence of an electrolyte, seawater, the zinc anode corrodes away sacrificially, protecting the more important and expensive propeller components. This particular one is a large anode that fits over the propeller nut. It likely fell off a boat that was being transported on a trailer. If you love uncovering strange and mysterious objects, hit like and subscribe. Your support genuinely helps YouTube's algorithm find more curious explorers like you. Thank you for helping us grow. Stay curious. Found in a warehouse near a conveyor, this metal object, possibly stainless steel, has a good weight to it. The tip is not dangerously sharp. What is this specific cleaning tool? While its presence in a warehouse is a mystery, this tool looks exactly like the cleaning tool that comes with the KitchenAid pasta extruder attachment for their stand mixers. The pasta extruder forces dough through different dies to create various pasta shapes like macaroni or fusilli. After use, small bits of dough get stuck inside the extruder and the dies. This tool, with its pointed tip and tapered end, is perfectly shaped to poke out and clean these residual dough pieces from the small holes and crevices of the attachment, ensuring it stays hygienic and functional. This thin metal rod is bent into a triangle at one end and a hook at the other. It is also bent at an angle of about 30 degrees. What is this specialized laboratory tool? This tool is a plate spreader, a simple but essential piece of equipment in microbiology labs. It is used for evenly distributing a small volume of liquid, such as a bacterial culture, across the surface of an agar medium in a petri dish. This technique, known as plating, is often done to create a bacterial lawn for antibiotic sensitivity testing or to quantify the number of bacteria in a sample. Before each use, the spreader is sterilized, typically by dipping it in alcohol and then briefly passing it through a flame. The smooth, bent shape allows it to glide gently over the agar surface without tearing it. This wooden box is bolted into the corner of the living room in an old apartment building in Montreal. When opened, there was nothing inside. What could its purpose be? This wooden box is most likely a decorative radiator cover. In older buildings with hot water or steam heating systems, the cast iron radiators, while functional, were often considered unsightly. To improve the aesthetics of a room, these custom-built wooden covers or enclosures were placed over the radiators. They often had a grill on the front and top to allow the heated air to circulate into the room while concealing the radiator itself. The top surface also provided a usable shelf. Its bolted in the corner placement is typical for a radiator located there. This is a thin but wide, flat metal ring with slots and a hole in the center. It's not a continuous ring, but has a cut from the outside edge to the inside edge. What is this high-tech component? This looks like a coil or disc from a bitter magnet, a type of powerful electromagnet used to produce extremely strong, continuous magnetic fields. These are used in scientific research facilities, like the National High Magnetic Field Laboratory in Florida. A bitter magnet is constructed from a stack of these conductive metal discs, the Florida bitter design, and insulating spacers, arranged to form a helical current path. The slots and holes are cooling channels, as these magnets generate immense heat and must be cooled with large volumes of purified water. It's a component from a very powerful and specialized piece of scientific equipment. This stainless steel cookware is a medium-large pot with a cover. Inside, there is a disc with 6 openings for 6 little steel cups, a finger hole for lifting, and a center hole for a steam vent. It was passed down from a late grandfather. What is it for? This piece of cookware is an egg poacher. The main pot is used to hold a shallow layer of simmering water. The disc insert with the 6 openings sits just above the water level. You crack an egg into each of the small, non-stick steel cups. The insert is then placed in the pot, and the lid is put on. The steam from the simmering water gently cooks the eggs in the cups, resulting in perfectly poached eggs, without the need to drop them directly into water. The finger hole allows for easy removal of the hot insert. This light brown fuzzy stuff has appeared in an AC vent. It's only in one vent, and the finder only noticed it after a recent roof replacement, though that might be a coincidence. What is this fibrous material? This light brown fuzzy stuff looks like insulation that has broken loose from inside the HVAC ductwork and has been blown out of the vent. The ducts that run through attics or crawl spaces are often wrapped with or lined with fiberglass or a similar fibrous insulation material to prevent heat loss or gain. Over time, or if disturbed during other work, like a roof replacement, a piece of this insulation can tear or break loose inside the duct. The airflow from the AC or furnace will then carry these fibers to the nearest vent and blow them into the room. A random, nickel-sized plastic item labeled key was sent to the finder from Singapore. It's made of plastic with some sort of plug on the top and black plastic beneath. What is this, and why was it sent? This small plastic item looks like a USB fingerprint sensor. These are used as a biometric security device to log into a computer or secure files using your fingerprint. However, the reason it was sent to you randomly and unsolicited is that it's likely part of a brushing scam. In a brushing scam, online sellers send inexpensive items to random addresses. They then use this fake transaction to post a phony 5-star review for their own product in your name, which artificially boosts their store's ratings and sales. The item itself is real, but the transaction is fraudulent. This threaded, spike-like thing is made of aluminum, maybe. What is this common automotive accessory? This object looks like a decorative valve stem cover, a popular aftermarket accessory for car wheels. The commenter initially guesses it could be a lug nut cap, which is similar but larger. These smaller, spiked or novelty-shaped caps are designed to screw onto the tire's valve stem, replacing the plain black plastic cap that comes standard. They serve no functional purpose beyond adding a bit of custom, often aggressive, styling to a vehicle's wheels. They come in a huge variety of shapes and colors. Found while moving, this object consists of a black base and a peg. It is made of hard plastic and has no wires or electronic components. What is this common piece of computer hardware? This is the base, or stand for a computer monitor. Most desktop monitors come with a stand that the screen itself attaches to. This usually consists of a flat base for stability on the desk and a vertical arm, or peg, that connects to the back of the monitor, often via screws that pass through the holes mentioned. The commenter used to own the exact monitor this stand belongs to, confirming its identity. People often remove the original stand if they mount their monitor on an adjustable arm, and the stand can then get separated or lost. Found at an estate sale in the Northeast USA, this unknown contraption is made of brass and plastic, is around 6 inches long, and has a plunger-type mechanical action at one end and slots on top. The finder thought it might be a bank for a specific currency. What is it? Through some image searching, this well-made contraption is identified as a mouse restrainer, a piece of equipment used in a laboratory setting. These devices are used to safely and humanely immobilize a laboratory mouse or other small rodent for various procedures, such as giving an injection, taking a blood sample from the tail, or performing a measurement without causing undue stress or injury to the animal or the researcher. The clear plastic or slotted body allows for observation, and the plunger mechanism gently secures the animal in place. This plastic item, with a tortoiseshell color, appeared in a bathroom vanity drawer. What could it be? The commenter asks a leading question. Do you have a hairbrush with bristles like that? This suggests the small tortoiseshell-colored plastic item is simply a single bristle that has fallen out of a hairbrush. Many hairbrushes have plastic bristles, often with small rounded tips, that are set into a cushioned base. Over time, especially with older brushes, individual bristles can become loose and fall out. If the finder has a hairbrush with a tortoiseshell pattern, this is almost certainly the origin of the stray plastic piece. Found in a heating and pump cellar in Germany, this red object reads density 0.9. The black part says something about reading instructions and removing a transport cover. It was located in a pump spillage basin in an old house. What could it be? This could be a vent float for a waste pipe, part of an alternative plumbing vent system. Given its density of 0.9, which is less than water, so it floats, it's designed to float on liquid. A possible arrangement is that it sits in a trap, and as long as there's water, it seals a vent opening. If a vacuum is pulled on the waste pipe, gas or air could be displaced, causing the float to drop and open an air path to the vent, preventing the water traps and fixtures from being siphoned out. It's a specialized piece of plumbing hardware, and a German plumber would be needed for a definitive ID. This blue plastic object has ridges and a hole through it. It tapers in size and is about 4 inches long. What is this oddly shaped cleaning tool? The commenter has one of these and identifies it as a sliding door or window dent cleaner. This refers to the small dents or divots that can form in the aluminum tracks of sliding windows or patio doors, often caused by the wheels or impacts over time. These small dents can cause the door or window to catch or not slide smoothly. This plastic tool, likely with a hard, shaped edge, is used to get into the track and press or smooth out these small imperfections, restoring a smoother surface for the door to glide on. Found while cleaning out a mother's stuff, this odd bit of electronics is a triangle made of plastic. It has a battery inside, a CR23-2, and a clickable button. Reverse image search was unhelpful. What is this small, battery-powered electronic device? This small, triangular device with a battery and a button is a Bluetooth tracker tag, similar in function to products like Tile or Chipolo. These small tags are designed to be attached to items you frequently misplace, such as keys, a wallet, or a bag. You then use a smartphone app to make the tag ring or to see its last known location on a map. The clickable button on the tag can often be used in reverse to find your phone. Pressing it makes your phone ring, even if it's on silent. A tiny, metallic, sharp, hooked object, 10 millimeter long, punctured a bicycle tire in London, UK. The midsection is mostly black. Both ends taper to sharp points. One end is bent about 90 degrees. What could this tiny but dangerous piece of metal be? The first and most likely guess is that this is a bit of steel from a car tire. Specifically, it's likely a small piece of the steel belts or bead wire that are embedded within a car tire to provide strength and rigidity. When a car tire becomes old, damaged, or wears down completely, these steel wires can break and be shed onto the roadway. These small, sharp fragments of steel wire are a notorious cause of punctures for the much more delicate tires of bicycles. The black color would be the rubber still adhering to the metal wire. This vent is next to a toilet, but doesn't lead outside. What is this plumbing fixture? This is an air admittance valve, AAV, often known by the brand name Studor Vent. In a plumbing system, drain pipes need to be vented to the outside to prevent a vacuum from forming when water flows down, which could siphon the water out of P-traps and allow sewer gas to enter the house. In situations where running a traditional vent pipe up through the roof is difficult or impossible, an AAV can be used. It is a one-way valve that allows air to be drawn into the drain pipe to equalize the pressure when needed, but it remains closed to prevent sewer gases from escaping out of the pipe. This metal construction is about 2.5 feet tall. It consists of two identical metal frames connected by metal rods and can be disassembled. What is this simple piece of furniture? This is identified as a shoe rack, but it has been turned sideways in the picture. In its normal orientation, it would be longer and lower. These simple, stackable, or extendable shoe racks, often made of metal rods and plastic or metal side frames, are a very common and inexpensive way to organize shoes in a closet or entryway. The multiple tiers of rods provide shelving for several pairs of shoes. The fact that it can be disassembled makes it easy to pack and move. Found near a broken-down lawnmower, this rusted, heavy object is perplexing. The finder doesn't think it's unexploded ordnance, UXO. What could this heavy tank-like object be? This is identified as an old compressor tank from a refrigerator. Before modern, compact refrigeration compressors became standard, many older refrigerators from the early to mid-20th century had larger, more robust, and often externally visible compressor and tank assemblies. The tank would be part of the sealed refrigeration system, holding the refrigerant gas under pressure. These were heavy, durable steel components. It was likely salvaged from a very old, discarded refrigerator, and its presence near a lawnmower is probably just a coincidence of where old junk was piled up. This unknown metal, pen-like object was found with old office supplies. It has no moving parts. The tip is a clear plastic sleeve with a small metal rod or needle inside, which does not extend. It doesn't write or work on touchscreens. Multiple identical ones were found with drafting tools. What is it? This tool is identified as a tungsten carbide scriber. A scriber is a hand tool used in metalworking, engineering, and drafting to mark or scribe fine lines onto hard materials like metal, ceramic, or glass. The tip is made of tungsten carbide, an extremely hard material that can easily scratch a line into steel. The clear plastic sleeve is likely just a protective cover for the very sharp and somewhat brittle tip, and it would need to be removed to use the tool. It's a fundamental layout tool for any machinist or metalworker. Found in a junk drawer, this has a long tube and a black cap. The finder has never seen it before. What is this dental hygiene accessory? After some initial confusion, the finder solved their own mystery. This item is a water flosser attachment for their girlfriend's toothbrush. Some modern electric toothbrushes have systems where you can swap out the brush head for different attachments, including a water flosser tip. A small tube connects this tip to a reservoir and pump system, which directs a pulsating stream of water between the teeth and along the gum line to remove plaque and food debris as an alternative or supplement to traditional string flossing. These white, football-sized pods are mounted on poles in an I-40 construction zone where a river washed out the road. They have a solar panel on the back and thin wires sticking out of the top. They are set in pairs every 100 to 200 meters. What are they? These devices are likely solar-powered sensors used to measure movement, specifically for monitoring potential further erosion or ground instability in a critical construction zone. In an area where a road has been washed out by a river, it is vital for engineers to monitor the stability of the remaining slopes and the new construction. These sensors, possibly extensometers or tilt meters, would be set up in pairs to detect any shifting of the ground or the jersey walls. The data would be transmitted wirelessly. The thin wires are likely antennas to a central monitoring station, providing an early warning if more erosion or a landslide is imminent. Found with some old makeup stuff from the 1940s, this is an old floral-patterned leather kit with a soft fleece pad inside. The brush is a key component. What is this grooming kit for? This is a vintage shaving kit. The brush, likely made from badger hair or boar bristles, is a shaving brush. Its purpose is to be used with shaving soap or cream to whip up a thick lather, which is then applied to the face before shaving. The lather hydrates the beard hairs and lubricates the skin. The razor mentioned in the solution would be the other main component of the kit, likely a safety razor or a straight razor, common for the 1940s era. The leather case was for storing and protecting these traditional shaving tools, especially during travel. These strange dirt cylinders, about 0.5 inches wide, are found on lawns everywhere on a college campus in the springtime. They almost look like dog feces, but are made of compacted dirt. What are they? These dirt cylinders are the result of lawn aeration, a common turf maintenance practice. The process is done with a machine called a core aerator, which has hollow tines that punch into the ground and pull out small plugs or cores of soil and thatch. These cores are then left on the surface of the lawn to break down. Aeration is done to relieve soil compaction, allowing air, water, and nutrients to penetrate deeper into the root zone, which promotes a healthier, more robust lawn. It's a very common practice on professionally maintained grounds like golf courses and college campuses. Found in an old shaving kit from the 50s, these are stamped metal, tin pieces, about 1 to 4 inches. What are these vintage identification plates? These seem to be Type B graphotype plates. A graphotype was a machine that embossed characters onto metal plates, similar to how a dog tag is made. These specific plates were used for creating address printing plates for addressograph machines, an early system for mass mailing. The commenter recalls military papers being imprinted this way. The embossed plates would be loaded into the addressograph machine, which would then imprint the address onto envelopes or documents, a precursor to modern mail merge and digital printing. They are relics of old office and military administrative technology. This iron hook-like thing, weighing approximately 200 grams, was found while digging in a yard in Ontario, Canada. What is this heavy, pear-shaped iron object? This iron object is identified as a bell clapper. The clapper is the component inside a bell that hangs down and strikes the bell's inner surface to produce the sound. It is typically made of a hard metal like iron or bronze and has a rounded or pear-shaped bottom part to provide the weight and striking surface. The hook part at the top would be where it was attached to the inside of a bell, allowing it to swing freely. Finding one in a yard suggests it may have fallen from a bell in a nearby church, school, or farm, and was then buried over time. This white plastic box is hardwired with circuitry inside. It is located in an apartment building and is identified by the commenter as something they've seen in their own building. What is this monitoring device? This white box is a room temperature sensor connected to a central boiler control system for the entire apartment building. In many centrally heated buildings, instead of having individual thermostats in every single apartment, the system uses a single sensor, or one sensor per floor, installed in a representative apartment. This sensor, which likely contains a simple thermistor, like the DS18B20 mentioned, monitors the ambient temperature of that one unit. This average temperature is then used by the central boiler control system to decide when to turn the heating on or off for the entire building or that entire floor, making it a simple, albeit not very personalized method of temperature regulation. If you love uncovering strange and mysterious objects, hit that like button and subscribe. Stay curious. More finds coming soon.